What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. The transfer window is wide open and Tottenham have been the centre of attention for many media outlets, for many players' ins and outgoings.
Well, it's only been a day.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's only been a day. We're going to bring you a series like we did in the summer, where we talk about the kind of media interest in Spurs, all the rumours of the incomings and the outgoings. This is your first episode for the January transfer window, and let's get straight into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of names to get through, but we'll start with the talk of the centre-backs, and Jan Vertonghen apparently is of big interest for Napoli. Obviously his contract is up in the summer, so he can sign a pre-contract with them if he chooses, if they can strike a deal. Yeah. And they see him as a Koulibaly replacement apparently, so could hinting that Koulibaly could be on the move as well. This is reported from Sky Sports that Napoli are very interested in him.
There's something fishy going on at Napoli at the moment. You know, they sacked their manager Carlo Ancelotti and they brought in Gattuso, which was a completely weird one. And now they're talking about replacing Koulibaly, who's probably one of the best centre backs in the world at the moment, for an ageing Jan Vertonghen.
Well, they have there is dodgy stuff. The players were protesting, weren't they, against the board? They went on strike as well for training for like a week or something. There's some weird things going on at Napoli. So if Spurs could take advantage of that, I wouldn't be against it and get someone like Koulibaly in. But I think Koulibaly would cost a lot of money. I don't know if Spurs would be able to stump up that kind of cash.
Yeah, they're talking about 90 to 100 million for him.
Yeah, I think about 80 million would probably get him. But whether we're prepared to do that, I can't see it, to be honest. But Vertonghen to Napoli, it makes a bit of sense. I think he'd probably more likely to go somewhere like Ajax if they're interested, I think.
Yeah, well, I heard reports about Vertonghen to Ajax is that he would be really interested to go there and they really want to take him, but the wages are a stumbling block there.
Because he's on over 100 grand a week, I suppose, so he's actually on quite high wages, but given his recent performances, it's understandable if Spurs aren't prepared to give him a new contract. Although I'd love him to obviously regain his form and sign, but at the moment it doesn't look like it's working out for him.
Yeah, look, the guy's 32 years old, so I think it's a case.
Well, you know, 30 centre-backs can be good after 32. 32 is not so old for a centre-back.
Yeah, but maybe in this modern game, I think defenders do rely on pace these days, and I think that you can see it in his game at the moment. He's struggling to keep up with the players on the opposite teams.
Alright, let us know if you'd be disappointed if Vertonghen moved to Napoli, but we're moving on to more reports from Sky Sports, and they were reported today that Tottenham have a strong interest in Max Aarons from Norwich, the right back, and Mukiele from Leipzig. Two potential options we're looking at to kind of bolster the right back spot, because let's be honest, we're lacking in there quite a lot. They're saying that Max Aarons, Norwich, who had been previously reported to be available at about 45 million, apparently Sky Sports are saying it's closer to around 30 million for the 19-year-old right back. And he's played every game bar 2 this season for Norwich, impressing whenever I've seen him, and I thought he was pretty good against Spurs when they played us. And for 30 million, I think that's a pretty good investment in this market.
I think in this day and age that's a complete steal, seeing as Wan-Bissaka went for over 50 million, didn't he?
Yeah.
I would love to take Aarons for 30 million. I think that's a great deal. In terms of Mukiele, I haven't really seen or heard much about him.
He only signed for Leipzig, I think last summer.
It's weird. I think it looks like Leipzig having a bit of a fire sale at the moment. You know, there's talks of Timo Werner going. There's talk of that centre mid.
Upamecano, the centre back.
There's talk about Upamecano going. There's talk about one of their centre mids going as well, and now Mukiele, their right back. So we could have a depleted Leipzig for when we play them.
Yeah, that'd be nice if we signed him. I don't know. I think he'd be cup tied if we signed him, wouldn't he? For the Champions League.
Probably, yeah.
I agree. I haven't seen much of Mukiele, but I have seen a lot of Aarons, and I've been quite impressed with his pace and his ability to get forward. Obviously, he's still young, he's still a bit raw, he's not the finished article. He did get Young Player of the Year last season in the Championship, or I think it was in the Team of the Year anyway. So clearly this guy has quality, and I think for 30 million, that's a pretty good deal. I think with the longevity you get, he's still very young. Mourinho can mould him in his image. And I think anything to get Aurier out of the team would be a plus. And I think getting a player like Aarons, where you get him young, I think would be a bonus for us. But Apparently there's talk of potentially signing him in the January and then loaning him back till the end of the season, something like that. But 30 million's decent.
Yeah, I'll definitely take Aarons for 30 million, 100%. And then obviously there are a couple more centre backs that we linked with in Boateng and Aki.
Yeah, Jerome Boateng has actually, there's a Bleacher Report were reporting that, I don't know if they have journalists or not, but apparently they do. They're reporting that Tottenham have made formal inquiries with Bayern Munich for the centre-back to see if he's available. Apparently, according to Sky Sports, he's available for as low as 12 million, with apparently Arsenal also interested. But
let Arsenal take him.
Yeah, I don't want him. I don't want Jerome Boateng. He's been on the decline for a long time, a good 2-3 years now. And if you think our centre-backs are declining, you should see his performances for Bayern Munich.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get the point of trying to get rid of Vertonghen to bring in Boateng.
That wouldn't make any sense.
To bring in a Koulibaly or an Aki, yeah, I can understand that. But Boateng, no thanks. I think he's a bit too old. How old is he, Boateng?
He's like 33, maybe?
Yeah, you know what I
32,
mean?
33.
Like, all those years ago when he got done by Messi and Messi put him on his ass, I don't think he's ever recovered from that. So I think Boateng, not for me.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Mourinho tried to sign him when he was at Man United. I remember they strongly went in for him. I think the board vetoed it at the time because they'd already spent big on Lindelof and Bailly, so they didn't go in for Boateng. I think it's one of those transfers that sounds better on paper than it would be in practice. Obviously, he used to be a very good defender. He used to be one of the best in Europe, but he's sadly not that anymore. And it'll be a regression, I think. I think he's not the kind of defender that we should be aiming for. We need a younger kind of defenders who have more pace. More about
like
them.
a Koulibaly,
because we already have defenders who have experience.
Exactly. I think there's literally no point to getting rid of Vertonghen to bring in a Boateng. I just don't see any point in that. But anyway,
it sounds like Mourinho's living in the past with
exactly.
Boateng.
He's playing Football Manager or something.
Aki, yeah, exactly. Nathan Aki is an interesting one. Again, another one who's looking. Apparently, that it'll take big money to get him away from Bournemouth, but I like him.
I like the look of him.
Yeah, but apparently they might have a first buyback option on him. Apparently, I'm not 100% sure on that one. But I think he's a good player. I think he plays well for Bournemouth. I think if you put him around better defenders, he'll definitely be improved. I think he would suit the position that we require him on the left-hand side of that defence, which Vertonghen currently resides. And I think he's good. He can also play left-back. He's a bit versatile as well. He's good on the ball. I think he's strong. He's young. And he's a Dutch international as well, gets in their squad. I think he's a good player. I think it would be a good signing. It would be one that would go under the radar, but I think if he was to come in, I think it would be impressive.
How much do you reckon you'll get him for?
There's talks around 45 million. I think we could possibly get him for a bit less, maybe like 40. But again, it'd be more big money. None of these Premier League clubs in this day and age need to sell. That's the reality. Everyone has money, so there's always a Premier League premium in this day and age.
Yeah, you're right. They don't need to sell, but sometimes players force a move out and want to go to the shining lights of Tottenham Hotspur.
You get worried that if we made a bid, then Chelsea would just activate their buyback clause or something, probably. Yeah. No, because Chelsea just love to take a player away from us. That's their favourite thing.
Do Chelsea actually need him with Tomori coming through?
They probably don't need him. They didn't need Willian at the time. They still signed him.
But Aki left to get first team football. Will he really go back to Chelsea under the same kind of situation?
Who knows?
We'll see. I'd love to take Aki. I think he's a brilliant player. But then moving on to the kind of attacking midfielder positions, we've got rumours of incoming and outgoings.
Yeah, so there's a lot of reports in Spain saying Tottenham have made a bid for a loan deal with an option to buy for Thomas Lemar from Atletico Madrid, the left winger who was signed from Monaco not so long ago after he nearly joined Arsenal. Remember on that deadline day a couple of years ago.
90 million.
Exactly, very close, but that kind of fell through in the last minute. He ended up the next summer signing for Atletico Madrid. Hasn't quite worked out for him since he's moved there. He's been there 18 months now. It always seemed a mismatch, him going to Atletico Madrid, because he's kind of a flair player. He's not the player who they like having, like centre mids on the wing. Atletico Madrid, that's how they like to play. So that like every player's like really hard working, tracking back. Lemar always seemed a bit of a mismatch, and it's proved that so far. He's never really got on the side. He's occasionally even had to play at left back because he just hasn't been able to get in the team. He obviously was amazing at Monaco when they won the league. They beat PSG to the league title. He scored against us in the group stages that year. He roasted us on the left-hand side. He reminds me a bit of Leroy Leroy Sané, that kind of mould on the left wing. I think
he's more of a poor man's Leroy Sané.
Yeah, he's definitely a poor man's Leroy Sané. I think the guy has quality, but I question whether that should be a priority for us on a left winger to join the attacking options. Look, would I be against him signing on loan? No, I think he would be a good player, but I think we have other priorities before him.
For me, I wouldn't want to sign Lemar. I think that he's probably only had about one outstanding season in his career to date. I think the move to Atletico, obviously, like you said, didn't really work out. And I think with him being at Atletico Madrid, he's probably asking Trippier, should I move to Tottenham? And he's probably saying, no,
don't
probably
do it.
not.
Probably. Although Trippier, I don't think, is having the best time of it at the moment.
No, Atletico are having a poor season in general.
I don't know. I think if Mourinho thinks Lemar would be a big improvement on what we got, then I'm all for it. But I just think the defensive options at the moment. If it's a decision to invest our money there or at the back, I'll definitely choose at the back. So I'm just question marks over that Lemar transfer, but I wouldn't be too against him coming in if it's a loan deal. I think it could be a decent bit of business.
Yeah, not for me. I think we should just go for the positions we actually need, because obviously left-hand side of the midfield, no one's getting ahead of Sonny really. So obviously for the squad, yeah, but I just can't see him coming as a squad player. I think if he was to come, I think he would want to start a lot of games. So I can't see that one being a starter, to be honest. And then obviously
it adds pace to the squad though, which is good.
It would add pace, but look, I don't think Lemar's shown quality for a while now. So I think if he was going to come, he needs to rediscover his form, and I don't know if Mourinho's good at that kind of thing.
You never know.
Yeah,
could work out. There's obviously talk of Bruno Fernandes as well, potentially joining Tottenham after he said in the summer Spurs were the only club interested in talking to him and showed any real interest. And given that Eriksen is likely to leave this January or at least on free at the end of the season, if we can get Bruno Fernandes in, I think that would be a very good replacement. He's by and large he's continued his good form from last season.
He has continued his good form,
albeit in Portugal.
Yeah, under different circumstances as well, because he was very open to leaving in the summer, and he was very open about being open to leave. And I think that obviously it was no secret of Tottenham's interested in him in the summer, but I think he'll be a bit more expensive than he was in the summer, just because he signed that big long contract.
He did sign that long contract. I don't know if he'd be more expensive because his contract wasn't up. I think they just gave him more money to represent how well he did that season. So it's a bit like how Spurs, gave new contracts to like Dele and things like that. It's not because they're about to leave. It's just because they deserve a bigger pay wage for how they're playing. So I could see him being available for around 60-70 million, but he said he's going to leave the last decision up for Sporting Lisbon to decide. He's not going to push for a move because he respects the club too much. So might not be the easiest transfer to get through. But I think if we were to really push the boat out, it's a deal that could be done. But I don't see that being a deal being done unless Eriksen leaves in January for money. Because if we end up letting Eriksen leave on a free, are we actually going to let him leave on a free and then spend another 60 million, 70 million on top of that to sign someone? It's going to be a lot more difficult unless we get money for Eriksen at like 20-25 million for him. Then I can see us splashing out a bit on that. So hopefully Eriksen kind of leaves this window. There's a lot of talk. He's in advanced talks at Inter Milan, and there's a number of other top clubs interested in him. PSG have reportedly offered him a pre-contract at 250 grand a week. According to Athletic, he's looking to leave in January as opposed to in the summer. So that would be good for us, but I'm not sure what this month holds for him. Because teams could easily just wait out a month and then they get him on a free.
Well, put your seatbelts on, guys, because this transfer window you could be in for a bumpy ride. It's only day 2, day 3. It's only day 3 of January.
Sky Sports are saying that Tottenham apparently are going to be more reactive than proactive in the transfer window, which is classic Spurs, really. So
I thought the original report saying we're going to be more proactive than reactive.
I think it said reactive. I'm not sure.
I thought it said pro, but
maybe. But I guess we'll have to wait. Look, something tells me we'll be waiting until the end of the window to make any signing.
Classic.
Which is exactly what Levy's all about. Late transfer deals in the window.
So we want Koulibaly and Aarons, and we'll probably get Boateng and Trippier back.
Yeah, probably. And also, given that Kane's injured, will we look for a striker? I hope so, but there's been no talk so far that we're anything serious on that front. But I'd hope we get a striker in it, even on a short-term basis between now and the end of the season. That'd be nice. But I think a lot depends on who we let go as well.
Yeah.
If we can get some outgoings before the end of the window, that'll rely on whether we can bring anyone in.
Definitely. Well, the reports are going to keep coming in thick and fast, so keep your eyes peeled on the channel, because we will be bringing you updates every time a story drops or a big story drops. Like, subscribe and comment. Tell us who you think we should sign, what you think of these transfer rumours, and as always,
Come on, you Spurs!